Greeting, fellow Corsairs, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Death of the Isle, Episode 9, Mountain Crypt. Am I questioning Sauron's will? No, apparently he wanted me to have a little bit of medical training. He is foresight. He thinks I'm going to get injured and require the medical training skill. Now, the only issue I foresee is this is sort of a dead corner unless this interconnects. I guess it could interconnect. And this will be the weapon storage room. So we'll start to stick weapons racks in here. Make them out of slate. And then we'll also want something for armor as well. Although armor doesn't need to be separated from slaves necessarily. I don't think they care about that in terms of security. Nice. We got some dare leather. It's going to be good stuff to use. And before this dare gets spoiled. So I think because we are not focusing on human-like processing, I'm not going to butcher human likes because it causes so much trash to build up. And we don't really benefit from the mood of doing that. So what's left in this general storage, it's a little weird that we have industrial meds. Pretend that we don't. Is the jewelry. Are they categorized in apparel? Because there's two concepts. There's the RimWorld magic jewelry, and then there's the medieval jewelry. And okay, yeah. So the medieval jewelry, I'll stick on a shelf in there. Some of the medieval jewelry has magical properties, which gets even more confusing, but whatever. So I would like a Gondorian shield and sword for shield. There is... well, so I can also have you guys decide whether to make Urkai armor as well. That's another potential choice. To make. I forget where it is. Wouldn't be in here. So there's medieval armor that we could make him. Oh yeah, here is the. It's under plate armor. The Urkai half plate. So they. Well. We would need to be working on crafting equipment for that anyway. So here you go. Instead, let's vote for the next priority. Defensive improvements, dining and recreation, agriculture and food storage, magic workshop, continually working on storage, crafting equipment, or build a worship room. The form of shadow, which is the worship room, is currently desired. Whether or not we actually fulfill that is up to you. But this weapon storage room is just about done. And then the other thing that I'm going to need to suss out is whether or not like dare antlers and things like that trigger Sildin in terms of slave rebellions or not. So get him to stand near it and figure out if it's a slave rebellion trigger. Because some things that you would not consider slave rebellion triggers, like beer bottles, are slave rebellion triggers. It's really weird. There's, as far as I'm concerned, not a whole lot of rhyme or reason as to what does or does not trigger. Yeah, I would say that looks a lot neater and nicer than what I had going on earlier. All right, Sildin, let's take a look at the dare antlers. Go stand near them. Slave, 24 days? Yep, those dare antlers are a trigger. Oh, something in this room is a trigger too. What the hell? Is it wood? Don't tell me it's raw wood. That would be... Seriously, game? Alright. We'll test it. I'm going to move the wood out. And if he doesn't have a slave rebellion mechanic with the wood moved out, then I know the wood causes slave rebellions. Because, of course, why wouldn't it? Oh, that's Crimson. Yeah, Sildin went to sleep, so I'll check back later. You guys want a worship room? Got it. I think it makes sense to have a worship room maybe back here. Or back here. Perhaps what I'll do is I'll have a few different options for you guys. So one is a central worship room in the middle of the base. So this is option number 1. Option number 2 is near the barracks. And option number 3 is tucked back here north of the farm. And then, well, you know what? We're going to want that stone for the worship room. So I think for now, I will just do wood flooring in the textile workshop. Just because we have a lot of spare wood, and it's cheap. And the mountain would be good, and that's not an option? You know what? I like that idea. 4. In the mountain. So, there's a few different in the mountains. So this will be 4 in this mountain. And this will be, excuse my pixel V and IV. This will be 5 in the western mountain. So, 4 in the east mountain. And 5 in the west mountain. And it's also worth reminding everybody that like there's no bug faction, so there's no overhead mountain risk. So that's why mountains don't matter. Oh, okay, that's done. Shield and Thomas, you need tasks. I am going to need an immense amount of granite for everything that is in progress here. So let's go ahead and get that immense amount of granite going. Oh, sapphire. I was wondering what that was. As soon as it's not foggy, I'll also look for coal. The other thing that we could do is we could try to get mining shafts built for things like coal, and that way we have a resource of coal that doesn't rely upon us finding it in the surface seams. We have jade there. One of the problems I have is, like, I'm not entirely sure if I saw... Well, it's because of the fog. It makes it really difficult to tell. Wow, you are having some problems with your psychic withdrawal. I think Crimson's going to have a mental break here any second. So you guys voted for weapons. I'll do magical equipment. And then kick it back to you to see what you want me to research next. I don't see any coal anywhere, but oh, maybe that. No, that's iron ore. And he's binging. Okay. Okay. I am going to prevent him from binging, because that's obviously going to be a bit of a problem for him getting over his psychic addiction. Letting him do binge on it is counterproductive. So shield, I'm going to need you to build a roof over that area and then wall it up. So I'm dumping the psychic in there. So Tal has all the psychic on him. I'm going to pause the make psychic tea, because obviously that's kind of productive now. It also looks like I'm out of lembas flour. So we're going to have some hungry people soon. I thought this lembas would grow a little bit faster, but clearly it hasn't. So I'm going to pause them as well, and instead start making... And given that we're having like mental breaks, I think what I'll do is I'll make lavish... Where is lavish meals? Okay, I don't know how to make lavish meals, so I'll make 5 meals. In lieu of lembas. Shield is working on that wall, and then as he delivers the materials, I'll drop the tea in there, get out of that room, and then... And then Crimson won't be able to satisfy his psychite addiction. Haha, you've been outsmarted. So he's already about 60% in withdrawal, which means that he should be over it soon. All right, worship room west has 1. So let's get started on that. I think, just aesthetically, a long corridor would look cool. Into the worship room. So that's what I'm going to dig. I also hope that there's not like a western exit here. I don't want to like open up the map. I have no idea if this is Solid Mountain. I think it is supposed to be. Mountainous. All right. Eastern coast with cliff. So the cliff must be the western cliff. So I'm assuming that this is a solid mountain. It is very hot in that room. It's might scorch the door. I suppose we'll see. If it burns my door, that would be funny. So actually, this room is so hot that the adjacent rooms now are starting to really heat up through the walls. All right, Silden. The test to see if wood triggers your slave rebellion. Yeah, I think so. It's only because you can equip raw wood as a weapon. Likewise, you can equip a beer bottle as a weapon. So if we want to min-max it so that the slaves don't have rebellions, I need to store our... Can we... Okay, we can also equip timber. Oh, this is dumb. So I'm going to need like wood sheds everywhere. That's going to be a totally different priority at some point of like minimizing slave rebellion. It's not something I'm going to worry about for now. Oh, we struck random emeralds. Well, guess we're just going to have to dig through them. And dare antlers are also weapons. So in the weapon storage over here, I wonder if random empty racks can accommodate dare antlers. No, it doesn't look like it. So we'll have to do wooden shelves. So these shelves are just going to be the catch-all of other things that need to be put in to the weapon storage. But at least for now, we can put the dare antlers in there. Tal, you have tattered apparel? A ring of tending has dropped below. Got it. You thought they fixed the Wood Rebellion issue? It's probably a Lord of the Rings problem or something. I don't know. Don't really care. Doesn't matter where it comes from, just matters that I know that it exists. All right, Tapu, it would be great if you moved on. So here is harvesting the parasite thorn bushes for straight unrefined magicite, which doesn't seem all that necessary given that we have all these other methods of getting magicite, but it does keep Crimson in the farm, and he likes to do farm work, so that's efficient, I suppose. And Tapu's finally leaving. Nice. Surprisingly, the Lembas has survived most of the winter. I'm not going to harvest it early, but the temperatures haven't gone down enough to actually kill any of the crops off, which is interesting. Now, I wasn't originally planning on having it be 5 wide, but I think I will go 5 wide. And then replace the walls. The plan that I have, at least... So jade is a material that is used in RimWorld magic, often for magic purposes, so I don't really want to use it for decoration, because I'll run into a jade shortage as a result. I'm planning on just having slate walls until a point that I can afford something nicer on either side. And then probably smooth floors, as they're going to look pretty nice as well. And this whole hallway can actually be part of the worship room. And then once we get to about this depth, have it open up to the actual physical worship room area. So high labor. It's going to be very labor intensive. It's also super weird that the hay straw pile is like right outside of the worship room, so I'm probably going to want to move that. Kind of, generally speaking, a weird thing to have. Research. There's the poll again. We are under mana surge, so waking up Tal to summon some extra minions, even though they're not doing anything. One thing that I ought to sow sooner or later is more heal root. We never did last season, and we're relying on wild heal root, which is not great long term. Are the sprites still active? They aren't right now, no. I'll get them up and running. And then, additionally, this area can be used as somewhat of a panic room. I hope it never comes to that, but a slab door into a mountain is a pretty good way to, like, get away from something scary outside. So I gotta figure out the light level max. It's like 9 tiles? No, 8 tiles out. So maybe we'll have a second torch here. It's too bad you can't just move these, because this is illuminating. I could delete it. I'll just do that. And I want this room to look regal, so even though it doubles the fuel cost to have torches on either side. Researching some armor. So I like the idea, and I don't know if you guys are going to agree with me, but I like the idea of shield being an orc half-plate armor, even though it's probably not the best type of armor that it could craft, given all the options that are here. It would be at least the most thematic. But at some point, if you guys vote on for me to focus on focusing on the magical equipment crafting, I can have that be a choice. So what way to spruce this up as a... So in terms of our ideology, we have pews and a shrine and the very large form of shadow. Now there's not a lot of like symbols of... Maybe I can have this look like a hilt and a sword of sorts. Something like this. I mean, I'm trying to get it... Essentially what I'm trying to do is get away from what just looks phallic, which is easier said than done. Ooh, even rice is rotting. Making it look like an eye, it's almost certainly not going to look like an eye no matter what I do. That, and there's also magic rooms. This is just a worship room. There are other magical facilities that might make more sense to look like eyes, like magic circle rooms or portal rooms. So another thing I don't have is a shelf for the herbal meds. Anytime I add new storages, I'll try to add those in. So I'll just put a crate somewhere in here just for herbal meds. There's a chance that if we get an ice mage, we'll have the option to have like a proper freezer, but until then it doesn't really matter where I store this stuff, just that it's out of the way. Crimson is 70-something% over his addiction, 72%. So once he's fully over the addiction, I'll have to set up another... Well, the real question, I suppose, is there a safe dosage? Given body size, generally speaking, Psych IT has a safe dosage of 1, where you can't get addicted on first try, but I don't really know if... Given a tiny body size, those numbers change. I don't think they do, but they could. We don't have any meat for 5 meals either. So once he's no longer pacing and insane, I'll have him go out and hunt doe. Because we're just eating dried meat for the moment. Which is fine, but it's not exactly going to keep people happy. There he goes. No longer psychotic break. But look at that mood. Well, actually, you know, there's no catharsis here. There's not going to be an easy way to make him happy. In other words. Cursed to be forever upset. Until he gets over it, at least. So I'm trying to get a little bit more light in here so we can work faster. But this is sort of the layout that I'm going to go with. Good. We have some fine meals now. I don't think they're going to affect the formula here, as he's super pissed. I wonder why the last break risk didn't give catharsis. It's as if, like, goblins can't benefit from catharsis. It really wouldn't surprise me if the mod, like, made mistakes like that. Well, wow, through the arrow loops. Dang. So Thomas, you are going to have to make ourselves a form of shadow. And I'm going to make it out of slate. Seems to be the correct kind of color. And we'll have art be your highest priority to get you started. Here's the slate grand sculpture that will go into this room, and then once we have it all excavated, I'll start adding in the pews, the altar, or not the, the pews, the altar, and smoothing out the floors and getting it ready for worship. So it's going to be something like a shrine here, with a lectern here, and then the art form in the center with the pews off to the side. And it's almost all mined out. And the lovely thing is then we have all this granite to then use as flooring. Murderous Rage. He's trying to kill Tal. Oh, don't shoot at me. I don't know how to fix this easily without it getting very messy. I think the struggle is I need to do as little damage as possible. Or otherwise it becomes a big problem. I'm going to have Thomas try to punch him as I run. Oh, great. We're already missing toes. I think we cue the Benny Hill music now. Okay, you are... Can you take one more punch? This is the real struggle, is like how much damage to do. Because like that missing big toe will eventually cause unconsciousness due to bleed out. Is there regeneration magic? Not for evil, no. Druids are the ones that regenerate limbs like that. Or priests in some isolated instances. Here, Thomas, let's see if encase might be a good solution. Get him out in the open. I could have just started with that. Alright, well this... Oh, is this permanent? Well, that's a problem. Hey, shield. I need you over here, because there's like a medical emergency now. Oh, no, it isn't permanent. Okay. And again, I'm guessing... Oh no, this time I got catharsis. Not that it really matters. It's not moving the needle much at all. Well, in the future, during Murderous Rages, I will just encase. Seems to work just fine. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Death of the Isle, which originally streamed live on Twitch, January 28th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below, but please keep in mind that the details about this series are already provided in the description. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com or the description of this video have a link to it. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Corsairs.